अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So last week we had a very long discussion after the class, and the last question that was in question on basis of which we had discussed so much, uh, the one who favors the wealth. The question was one who favors the wealth. Okay, so he feels that everything happens with wealth only. Scholars also gathers scholars all themselves gather around the wealthy. All other endeavors also succeed through money. Therefore, one should strive to accumulate wealth. The one line that I liked very much is that if the wealth has to come, it will come. It's not that if you are doing scriptural study, it will not come. Okay. And if it is not to come, whatever you do, it will not come. Okay. So, best is you get into studies of the scriptures, and automatically your merits will also increase. And when merits increases automatically, when it comes into fruition, you automatically acquire all the good things in life. But our was not that. Our purpose was to manifest detachment. And for that purpose, we are studying the scriptures, and we are getting both of the best of both worlds. So one who is studying scriptures for wealth, he doesn't get the wealth also, and he doesn't get the fruits of studying the scriptures also. But one who is studying scriptures for detachment also gets detachment as well as wealth. Okay. So this particular line, uh, uh, which line? On the other hand, the fruits of scriptural study are of an entirely different nature. It enables the accomplishment of such deeds that bring forth a continuous stream of joy, both in this world and in the world beyond. Therefore, abandon the obsessive preoccupation with accumulating wealth and devote yourselves to the study of scripture. Okay. So this para particular was very important. And one more was there.
Sorry, Rajesh sir, which entry, where are we? Because I think
22.
I'm on
We
the
are
wrong.
on question number 22.
22.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this line, second paragraph of the answer. If wealth is destined to come, then how would it not come through the study of scripture? And if it is not destined, then how would it come without such study? Okay. So in both the case, you are a loser, and here in both the cases, you are a winner. Okay. So we should prioritize scriptural study in our life. We should prioritize Dev Shastra Guru in our life. We should never compromise Dev Shastra Guru with wealth. If we get less wealth, it is okay, but our everyday routine pertaining to Dev Shastra Guru, that should not be hampered in any case. Whatever struggle you have to undergo, you undergo. But this is something you have to do diligently, purposely, and seriously. Okay. So this was the conclusion of that question. Now we move on to the next question, question number 23. In all, there are, I think, 28 questions. So most probably we will be completing today the 28 questions. No, I think 20, yeah, 28 questions. Okay. So 23rd question. Take it further up, Darshit ji. This is 22. We are going to read 23.
Sorry, today my connection seems to be dropping, but I'll try.
Okay.
Otherwise, somebody else might have to take over.
You can do one thing. You can simultaneously join through mobile. So their connections would be good. Further. Yes, this is the question that we want to do. The one who is biased by sensual pleasures, etc. Okay. So we are looking that one. Initially we looked at person who is biased towards Pratman Yog, Charnan Yog, and Dravyan Yog. Then we saw one who is biased towards wealth. Now we are seeing one who is biased towards sensual pleasures, etc. Says. So who will read? Jinal, you are there? You read. Yes.
Can I read next?
Your voice is not coming.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Can I read now?
Yeah.
Question 23. The one who is biased by sensual pleasure, etc., says there is no.
Your voice is very low, or it is only low for me.
Should I join from my mobile? Wait, sir.
Now it is okay. Now it is okay. You carry on. Yeah.
There is no pleasure or prestige in studying scripture. Therefore, one should indulge in pleasures that bring immediate enjoyment, such as relations with women, fine food, elegant clothing, and other sensory delights. Or else one should pursue socially prestigious activities such as marriage and similar worldly accomplishments. Answer. The so-called pleasure that arises from sensual objects is in truth suffering because it is dependent on external causes. Paranimita. Before indulging, one is restless with desire. While indulging, one is anxious to sustain it, and afterward, one is left with longing or regret. It is fraught with agitation from beginning to end, and subject to destruction by countless factors. Moreover, such pleasures become the cause of future downfall into hellish dance and miserable rebirth. Even so, it does not arise according to your wish. It comes only as a result of past merit, which makes it unreliable, unstable. Just as a person afflicted with an itch scratches the skin harshly with a rough object, similarly, a soul tormented by the urges of the senses, unable to endure their affliction, throws itself hesitantly upon the so-called pleasures that seem to offer momentary relief. But that is not the supreme real happiness. The bliss that arises from the right knowledge, Samyak Gyan, obtained through the study of the scriptures, is true happiness. That happiness is self-dependent, Svadhina, free from agitation, cannot be destroyed by anyone, and is the very cause of liberation. Therefore, it is unchanging and undisturbed. That happiness is self-dependent, Svadhina, free from mental anxiety, perturbation, agitation, cannot be destroyed by anyone, and serves as the very cause of liberation. Moksha. Thus, as one naturally feels happiness when free from the irritation of itching, in the same way that the senses.
I'm not able to listen. Everyone is clear, or only it's happening to me?
Actually, the voice is breaking, the
Ah.
connection.
Yeah, it's
Ah.
not
So
audible.
you leave it. You leave it. Sasikala ji, you read.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Ekdam.
Okay, which one? This just as one naturally feels happiness when free from irritation of itching. The
1 minute.
same way
1 minute. Where you are?
that the
Just
happiness.
as one naturally feels happiness.
The bliss that arises from right knowledge, she has completed, sir, that one. You want to read from the beginning?
No, no. You start from here.
Hello?
That happiness is self-dependent from there.
Hello?
Yeah.
You want to read from the beginning just as a person afflicted?
No. From here. That happiness is self-dependent.
Yes, that only. That
Yes, yes.
happiness is self-dependent. Swadhina, free from mental anxiety, perturbedness, agitation, cannot be destroyed by anyone, and serves as the cause of liberation, moksha. Just as one naturally feels happiness when free from the irritation of itching, the same way when the senses, indriya, lose their power to cause pain, one naturally attains true happiness. Therefore, renouncing sensual pleasures, one should engage in the study of these scriptures. And if complete renunciation of sensual objects is not possible, then at least to the extent that one should withdraw from them and remain devoted to the study of the scriptures. You spoke of gaining prestige through marriage and similar worldly pursuits, but how long does such prestige truly last? To attain it, one engages in grave, sinful undertakings, parampara.
Paparam.
Sorry, parambara.
Paparam.
Paramba.
Sinful activities.
Sinful activities, yes. Mahapapa harambam, correct. Okay, sir. And must suffer intense misery in hellish realms for a long time thereafter. Moreover, there are many others who spend far more wealth than you in such endures, so do not hope for gain of any special prestige. Through spiritual scriptural study, one attains kind of prestige that is truly exalted, prized by all, even honored by celestial beings like Indra, etc. And through its legacy becomes the very cause of heavenly rebirth and ultimate liberation, moksha. Therefore, abandon the pursuit of marriage and similar worldly endeavors and apply yourselves earnestly to scriptural study. If such a pursuit cannot be completely forsaken, then at least avoid becoming overly entangled in them. In this way, even one who is biased and attached to sensual pleasures and worldly honor is turned towards the path of Sastrabhyasa. In this way, all other beings who express disinterest in studying the scripture due to contrary views should reflect upon the matter rightly and turn themselves towards the earnest study of the Shastra. Okay, sir. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Such reflection. Acha.
Completed
Okay,
that
okay,
one.
okay.
Okay, sir. You are telling something or?
Yeah, so one more line was there. I don't know how it has got deleted from here. Such reflection reveals that Shastra Abhyas alone is truly worthy.
Oh, it's not
And
there,
it
sir.
is only fitting that they become aligned with its pursuit.
It's not there so much.
One line is not there, but it's all okay. So you see, the sensual pleasures is not the real pleasure. Okay.
Yes.
Sensual pleasure is sukha bhas. It's just a delusion of happiness. It is not the real happiness. Why? Because my attribute of happiness lies in my soul. So how can I get happiness with these sensual pleasures? Because my attribute of happiness is not there. So how can I get happiness from those sensual objects? Okay. So my happiness lies within me, and only when I connect to myself, I experience that happiness. Okay. The other thing about the sensual pleasure is, before indulging, one is restless with desire. While indulging, one is anxious to sustain it, and afterward one is left with longing or regret. You know, in my childhood, we there was nothing more of entertainment than the movies that used to come in the theater. You know, there were no TVs at that point of time. So I very vividly remember when I was very young, maybe 10, 12 years. You know, after watching the movie for 3 hours, when we come out, we always used to have this. We always used to have this regret that it was waste of time and money, you know, every time. But still we used to go, you know. So here also it says that afterwards one is left with longing or regret. Okay. So it is in no way useful to have this kind of sensual pleasures. Okay. It is fraught with agitation from beginning to end and subject to destruction by countless factors. Okay. So there are 4 or 5 things that has been said in scripture. Pravachan Sarji, verse number 76. Yeah, 76. There it says that this is dependent. Then it could be, there could be a break. Okay. Then these are all temporary. Then these are not real happiness. It is always with anxiety. The main part, the main tragedy with sensual pleasure is that it is along with anxiety, you know. And real happiness is without anxiety, without perturbedness. It is called nirakulta, you know. So extra sensory pleasure is nirakulta. Okay. Unperturbedness. Okay. So in this way, this sensual pleasures is not worth indulging in. There is sorrow in the beginning. Before that, while consuming also you are experiencing sorrow, and the future is also when it comes to maturity, the fruition, then also you will suffer from sorrow. Okay. So such kind of sensual pleasures should be avoided. Okay. And we should seek for the real happiness. Okay. And real happiness is something that we get directly from the soul. When we connect to the soul, whatever happiness and other attributes are there in the soul, automatically it flows in our modification, and we experience our modification every moment. Okay. So we get that good feeling, you know, good feeling. So whatever we do in terms of efforts for acquiring this extra sensory pleasure, it is worth doing it. And whatever we do in acquiring this sensual pleasure is all futile, no use. Okay. It is all with anxiety, perturbedness, and so we don't really enjoy it. Okay. Although because of delusion, we believe that we are enjoying it, but in reality, we never enjoy the sensual pleasure. You must have experienced that, you know, you go to a hill station to enjoy, but after 5 days, you feel like going home. Why? If there was pleasure over there, then you could have sticked over there. But no. So all these sensual pleasures has a end, you know. You get sometimes what we call saturated with it, you know. You don't want to have further. This is the uh, this is the tragedy with sensual pleasure, and it is not the real pleasure. So getting onto this is in no way fruitful for us in any way. Okay. Against this, the Shastra Abhyas, the reading of the scriptures is always beneficial. While we are reading, we are discovering new things, so we are happy. We are also discovering the way where we can get rid of
Has Sir's connection frozen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've just spoken to sir. He's saying he's joining soon, so he's got some internet issues.
Thank you, Darshiji. We'll stick around.
Sorry, you might lose me today as well because I got issues as well.
No worries. All good, all good.
Thank you.
So I would like to share my experience. Like 1 minute. With this sankalp vikalp, what sir was saying, okay, if you are, like in the sensual pleasures, so there is a wedding which is coming up, and I'm shopping things, like, so for sangeet, for different occasions, carnival party, this that. So there is so much of planning and everything which is going on with this. Hello.
yes.
So I have just
Huh.
Carry on, carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Jinali, what you were saying, say.
So I was like, it's a experience which I'm feeling right now. The same thing. There is a wedding which is coming up. So there is so many things, which I'm doing. That is all sensual pleasures only to look good. I mean, you buy designer clothes, this, that, and there is so much of thought process which is going on. Kya acha lagega? What will look good? This ye nahi, this party, this. It's so much.
These are cause of anxiety right now also. At the time of consumption also there is anxiety, and the future is also.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way out, It's our life. We have to design it the way we want to live, right? So if you get into that rat race, dekha dekhi, then
Huh.
you are gone. So see, either you can keep others happy, or you be happy yourself. You have to take a choice. So I have decided I want to be happy myself. Hell with others, because their happiness is not dependent on my transformation. Okay, their happiness is dependent on their past karmas, right? Merits and demerits. So you even if you do work hard so many, you will not be able to please all the persons all the time. Okay, so it's a futile attempt. So at best you uh, you get to a balance. You have to balance between both the things, your
Yeah.
own priority and your own objective. At the same
Mm.
time, you also have to maintain the relationships that you are in right now. Okay,
Mhm.
so you have to strike a balance between the two, and with little bit of intent and insight, you can very well manage it.
Right, sir.
The words come out in such a way that you have never thought of. When something you are going to come out of that trap, then words also come out in that way. I am myself was surprised many a times that how could I say this, but I didn't want to get into that trap. So I found a diplomatic answer to overcome those situations many times, not one times or two times. And that is the time I realized that it is my intent that is driving me. My intent. Yesterday I was having, today was the last class with Sadhvi ji. Now they have moved on to some other place, far off place. So the last class we were discussing. So as I said, ki, uh, the soul itself strives to get liberated. So when he gets anything serving his purpose, he always makes extra effort to get into it. So although you might not have that much of knowledge, but because of your intent means the intent of the soul, you automatically understand things. You automatically find ways to navigate those situations. So it's all very automatically. Only thing in our hand is we need to study scriptures intensely, contemplate about it, and come at a decision. Okay, that we continue to do it, which is possible at our end. Rest of the things you leave it. It will be all about the eligibility of the moment. tat samay ki yogyata. Okay, tat samay ki yogyata is a final answer to every questions. Okay, so whatever we could do intentionally, consciously, deliberately, intentionally, we should do, and rest of the things depends on the eligibility of the moment. Every time you have to take this call, every now and then. Yeah, Priyanka.
Jai Jinendra, sir.
Yeah.
So my question was, we talked about the not engaging in the sensual pleasure.
Mhm.
But when we are in the family,
Hmm.
we may not want, but say like children. The children
Mhm.
are young. They want to experience everything in their childhood. Like, they want to go
Right.
out, they want to go on vacations. So how do we, because at one point I feel like I'm complacent, but at the
Hmm.
same time, you feel like, okay, is it fair on the other family members to
Yes.
not experience what we have already experienced when we were little?
Right. Right.
So
So,
that is something.
this was what I just answered right now, that you have to strike a balance between the two. You cannot be absolutely on one side. You have to balance between the two, because we are into that situation now. We are all householders, right? So we have to balance it out. If it would have been a case of a monk, he would not have worried at all, because he is no he's detached. He's detached to all these things, right? But at this stage, we need to strike a balance. So what we can do is we can carve out a middle path where we are protecting our interest to study the scriptures. At the same time, we are also balancing out their life. What is your responsibility as a parent? So that you have to strike a balance. You cannot totally ignore her, or you cannot totally come here into this whole time study. You have to strike a balance between the two. So this is a struggle that you have to undergo, and with struggle and with your intent, automatically you will find in a situation where things happen according to your wishes. You don't ask for it and it happens automatically. This is the magic, you know. You don't ask for it, but it happens according to your inner desires. Okay. So little bit of struggle, but subsequently you will see things happening according to your desires, means not the sensual desires I'm talking about, what you desire in terms of your spiritual journey. Okay. So like you desire to have more time for study, you will get more time. You will get more time. Now you are doing a job, so you have a fixed hours where you have to go to the office. Now tomorrow you will get an idea to start your own business, freelancing. Then you will see that with half the efforts you are earning more money, and you are building a relationship which is going to be lifetime relationship with the clients. Right? Here whatever you do, it's all going to the company. You are entitled to your salary. Right? But if you become an entrepreneur yourself, then things are different. So your one effort is going to give you fruits for the rest of your life. One good client if you acquire, your life changes. But again, as I said, you have to take that risk. You have to be brave enough to take that risk, and for that you have to save first, so that even if your things don't work out for 1 or 2 years, you are not in tension. Okay. But we should always take risk, because when you are doing job, it's difficult to maintain your shat avashyaks, the 6 essentials of a householder: Dev Puja, Guru Upasana, Swadhyay, Sanyam, Tap, Dan. These are the 6 essentials of a householder, and a householder should be very alert in observing the 6 essentials. Okay. So, but when you are doing job, I know people in Mumbai, they are doing jobs, and they have to start at 7 o'clock from their home, to go to that far place, to the office. So they are not able to do this. So it's all depend on us. At the end of the day, what we are getting is according to our merit. Nobody is giving us anything, not the company is giving us anything, nothing in it. So when you are on your own, on your merit only, then it is always better to take a risk, right? At least the time that you don't have any work, at least you can pursue your spiritual studies. So with time, you will learn to take those risks. With time, you will learn to have that diplomatic answers. With time, you will find solutions to balance out both the things, your professional life and your personal life. Okay. So don't worry, everything is coming. Everything is coming. Just now just before the class, I was talking to Darshit ji, and he was also giving me positive feedback. The last time, the discussions that we had, uh, after the class, maybe around 25 minutes it went on. So sooner or later, it never happens that you put in efforts and you don't get the result. At least in spiritual, in the path of liberation, you always get results. Okay. So you have to be a bit patient and follow it.
Sir, one more question. May I, please?
Yes.
Okay, so sir, I'm just thinking like maybe we can touch base about it later, because the intention is, and I'm feeling it. If the intention is there, things line up.
That's right.
Anyhow, it lines up. Like
Yes.
even in job, like little time, not too much, but at least like for some time, lines up. I'm
Yes.
actually so keen that shut avashyak.
Yes.
How do I do that on the weekends? Because at least we start on something, and then we gradually, and then
Yes. Yes.
potentially things just roll over to
Right.
weekdays also.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. It's all possible. It's all mindset. It's all mindset only. You have to condition your mind to do certain things, and it happens. Automatically it happens. It happens all effortlessly. Only thing is that you need to have an intent. Okay. So that's why we say that bhavna bhavnashini. So when you have this kind of reflections, contemplations, automatically things line up. Okay. So definitely it will come, but you need to have that intent and what you can do at your level that you should do, and rest you just leave it to the destiny. Okay. It will automatically line up.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So now we go to the question number 24. This is question those of other faiths object. What the object? That is question number 24. Very small question and answer. Darshit ji, you read.
Okay, Jai Jinendra. Here, those of other faiths, Anyamati, object. You have insisted solely on the study of your own scripture. But in our tradition too, there are texts composed with various forms of reasoning and logic. Why should those not be studied as well? Answer. The scriptures of your tradition do not truly offer guidance for the soul's welfare, Atmahit. Some are filled with themes of sensual enjoyment, others glorify warfare, indulgence in desires, or acts of violence. Such tendencies arise naturally, even without instruction. Thus, renouncing such texts is actually beneficial. But your tradition instead promotes and nurtures these very tendencies. How then can it lead to true welfare?
So Todarmalji had studied many other religions' texts, and then he found out what were the flaws, and he pointed it out in Moksha Marg Prakasak chapter number 5, and that's why he was, punished for that, because writing ill of others, because everyone feels that their religion is the best. Okay, so but Todarmalji wanted to depict the truth. So he studied those scriptures and find out the flaws, and he found that their statements are not uniform in instructions. At one point of time they will say something, and then at other place they will negate the same thing. Okay, so it was all like thing. So here it says that renouncing such text is actually beneficial, because these texts either promote sensual enjoyment, others glorify warfare, indulgence in desires, or acts of violence. Such tendency arise naturally even without instructions. Okay, so it is actually renouncing such text is actually beneficial. But your tradition instead of promotes and nurtures these very tendencies. So how then can it lead to true welfare? So it's not going to lead to true welfare. On the contrary, it's going to take you towards the hell. Okay. So this was about the other faiths. Now the 25th question. Again, there is a counter argument, and that 25th question, Rajeshri ji, you read.
Question. They respond, it is the divine play of God, Leela. We sing of its devotion, and that brings out spiritual upliftment. There, if God, Ishwar, does not possess inherent bliss, Sanja Shula, nay, Sanja Sukha, then he must have become happy through worldly play or activity, like an ordinary being. But if he were naturally blissful, then why would he engage in sensual enjoyments or battles? Even a dull-witted person does not act in the slightest without purpose. Hence it is evident that praise of such God is just like us. What accomplishment, Siddhi, could there be from singing the praises of such a deity?
So, one minute.
You want me to continue?
It is that, no, it's, let me clarify this one. So the question was that it is the divine play of God, Leela, Krishna ki Leela. We sing of it in devotion, and that brings about our spiritual upliftment. So the basic principle that one substance cannot do anything of the other substance, this is being here negated, this very principle of Jainism. Okay, so how can it be the true? Okay, so all other religions, there are a creator God, that creator God is the creator of the universe, he is the manager of the universe, and he is the destroyer of the universe. So you are dependent on that creator God, okay? But Jainism says there is no creator God. Everything is in auto mode. There is no doer, there is no manager, there is no destroyer, okay? So all the six substances are manifesting on its own independently without any other's help, because all are independent, all are complete in itself. So there is no way that anyone needs any other's help. All are capable of doing their own modifications, okay? So if the so-called God were inherently blissful by nature, then why would he engage in sensual pleasures, warfare, or worldly indulgences like an ordinary soul? You must have seen many deities having weapons, some animals to protect them, and whatnot. Okay, but our gods are all vitragi, detached. Okay, they don't have even a single thread of cloth within them. Okay, no parigra, no possessions. They are possessionless. Okay, so they are not the true God. Our God are very true. For even a person of limited intellect does not act without purpose, not even to the slightest extent. And it becomes evident that such a deity is just like us, bound and afflicted. Okay, so they are not the true deity. Okay, the true deity that we have, our gods, are all passionless, they are all detached. Okay, so by praising those deities or the false gods, nothing is going to uh, be of any benefit. Now the next question, the 26th one. 26th one is also small one. Who else is there? Priyanka.
So 26, right?
Yes.
They further argue, but our scriptures also teach renunciation, detachment, non-violence, and similar virtues. Answer. Such teachings in your scriptures are riddled with internal contradiction. In some places, they nourish sensual indulgence, in others, they prohibit it. At times, they first display detachment, only to later endorse violence and indulgence. Such inconsistent words are like the ramblings of a madman. So, shall I
Then
continue?
how can such,
Okay.
one more line is there, I think, Darshit ji?
No, sir, there's no other line.
No, it's not there. So how can such text be accepted as authoritative proof? Praman, you know? How can that be? Okay. So now the question number 27. Okay. They say, so all these discussions are about other faiths. Okay. Apart from Jains, the other faiths, what they have to say. Okay. Todarmalji is raising all these questions on his own. He is answering just to have a clear idea in our mind what a true religion should be. Okay. So all these questions are very, you can say, very thought-provoking questions. Okay. So now question
your
number
voice is
27, and my voice is
it?
breaking.
Or only it's
So
breaking for me?
today I have, Darshaji is okay?
No, what's happening is that your screen seems to freeze at times, and yeah, maybe some of us are experiencing a
Okay.
screen freeze, and
So
some of
what
us are experiencing.
I can close the video. I can close the video. I think that will okay. So 27th question. Okay. Darshit ji read.
Okay. Then he says, but in scriptures like the Vedanta, etc., the nature of fundamental realities, tattva, is explained. Answer. To that we respond, no, such explanations are refuted by valid means of knowledge, praman. they are fallacious and not aligned with truth. Their refutation has already been carried out in the logic-based texts, Nyaya Shastras of Jain philosophy. One should examine those to understand the flaws. Therefore, the scriptures of other traditions should not be studied. In this manner, beings are rightly guided towards the study of this true Shastra.
Continue. This is not question 28. This is the same question continuing.
It's a continuation. Sorry, yeah. To them we say, O noble-souled beings, Bhavya Jivas, Shastra Abhyas, scriptural study, comprises many facets: reading or reciting words and meanings, learning or teaching them, delivering discourses, reflecting upon them, listening attentively, asking questions, understanding resolutions, engaging repeatedly in discussion. All of these are limbs of study. Therefore, engage in Shastra Abhyas in whatever way is possible for you. If it is not feasible to study all scriptures, then focus on this scripture, for it contains both simple and profound expositions across many meanings. Whatever part you are capable of, study that, but do not become lazy in your pursuit. Behold the glory of Shastra Abhyas, spiritual scriptural study. Behold the glory of scriptural study, Shastra Abhyas. Through it, the soul gradually attains the state of self-realization, from which the supreme fruit of liberation, moksha, is obtained. Even leaving that aside, through the study of the scriptures, many noble qualities, gun, manifest immediately. These include the intensity of passions such as anger, etc., are subdued. The outward tendency towards essential pleasures is restrained. Even an extremely restless mind becomes focused and concentrated. The five sins like violence, etc., cease to occur. Even with a little knowledge, one comes to understand the animate and inanimate substances of the three worlds, triloka, as related to the three times past, present, and future. One gains the ability to discern what is worth abandoning, heya, and what is worth adopting, upadey. Self-knowledge, Atmagnan, turns towards the self, Sanmukh, that is, knowledge becomes directed towards the soul itself. As knowledge increases, it gives rise to inner bliss. One earns great esteem and renown in the world. An abundance of meritorious karma, Satishya Punya, is bound. These virtues manifest instantly through Shastra Abhyas, hence one must certainly engage in it.
So there are 10 points, okay, which shows that why you should do this study of the scriptures. Okay, what are these 10 benefits, So these 10 benefits are instantly benefiting you. In what way? The first point, the intensity of passions such as anger, etc., are subdued. Okay. So when you are reading the scriptures, it is only possible when your passions are mild. Okay. If the passions are intense, then of course you will be indulging in sensual pleasures. But when the passions become very mild, you will have this feeling of reading Shastras. You will have this urge to read Shastras. Okay. So when you are indulging in this kind of study, your passions becomes very subdued, very mild. Okay. So that is the first benefit, that reading the Shastra, what you achieve. The second, the outward tendency towards the sensual pleasures, okay, is restrained. So automatically you have said 6 hours a day for your personal life. Okay. If you are working, you are sleeping, you are working. So only 6 hours a day you have for your personal life. Okay. So if you indulge in reading the scriptures, automatically that time is saved of yours. which you would have all which otherwise you would have indulged in sensual pleasures. Okay, so the outward tendency towards the sensual pleasure is restrained. Okay, so when you get into something, automatically something always goes away, and that is how it happens. Okay, number 3, even an extremely restless mind becomes focused and concentrated. Okay, why it's a restless mind? Because you are suffering from anxiety, you are suffering from desires, expectations, and expectations are never met, so you are always restless. Okay, so restless mind becomes focused because your passions have reduced, it has become mild, it is subdued. So your mind also becomes calm. And when it becomes calm, you are more focused and concentrated. Okay.
Can you hear, sir?
Can you? Yeah. Can you listen to me now? Yeah, you're listening my voice or not?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you now.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir, I think you've cut off again. So I think while we wait for sir, I wanted to just point out something, if that's okay with all of you.
You are
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, back. Good.
No, he's out. He's back.
Sir, your voice is on mute.
No, my voice is not on mute.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were sharing something, right?
It's okay. We can carry on with the class.
Okay.
So
So my internet connection is today a bit unstable. So in between I'm getting these problems. But anyway, we will carry it on. To the fourth one, okay. The even in restless mind becomes focused and concentrated. That was done. The fourth point, the 5 sins like violence, etc., cease to occur. Again, the same logic. If you are indulging your time into something, then automatically something you are not indulging, because at one point of time you are into one of the activities. Okay, so if you are getting into scripture study, then automatically the sins stops to occur. So this is very logical conclusion. Fourth point. Okay, the fifth point, even with a little knowledge, okay, one comes to understand the animate and inanimate substances of the 3 worlds as related to the 3 times past and future. So with little knowledge, the scriptures offers are all this is about Karnan Yoga. Okay, all these questions were related to make you interested in the reading of scriptures of Karnan Yoga. Okay, and in Karnan Yoga there is descriptions of the 3 world, the karma theory, all. So even with a little knowledge, we are able to know things which otherwise are only known to the omniscience. But through the scriptures, we are knowing those things in our knowledge. Okay. So with little knowledge, one comes to understand the animate and inanimate substance of the 3 worlds as related to their 3 times: past, present, and future. Okay. So all this is only possible if you read the scriptures. The 6th point: one gains the ability to discern what is worth abandoning, worth adapting. Now, this is also very important. Okay. Whatever we do, we should have a purpose in our mind, why we are doing this. Okay. So if you align the purpose with the uh, with the with the thoughts that you have, then it's easy, it becomes very easy to take a call whether this is worth abandoning or worth adapting. Okay. And with a little bit of analysis, you will be able to take that decision, and that is going to help you in a big way, because you studied the scriptures for 1 hour. At the end of the 1 hour, you have to conclude that what is worth adapting, what action I should take. If this is the correct answer, then my action should be aligned with that. Okay. So automatically there is a transformation happening in each and every one who read these scriptures. There is a cause and effect relationship between the words that are there in the scriptures and their meaning. Okay. So when you read the words, you automatically gets connected to its meaning. And when you understand those meanings, automatically the action follows. Okay. So the conclusion is that there is a transformation every time when you read the scriptures. Okay. So you learn something new every time when you read the scriptures. Even if you are repeating it, if you are repeating it again and again, every time you repeat, you will learn something new. Although the words are the same, everything is same, but you will have different perspective coming to your mind, reading the same scriptures again and again. Okay. So this is the magic of the words. These words have all come to us through the omniscient. Okay. So this connection is really helping us to understand the scriptures. The 6th point. So this was 6th was done. Now the 7th point. Self-knowledge turns towards the self. That is, knowledge becomes directed towards the soul itself. Okay. So all this, I have been telling this time and again, that our active consciousness is indulging in external substances since time immemorial. Now to transform this active consciousness towards our self, what works? So what works is the understanding that we develop. Okay. The more the understanding, the better you are in a position to indulge your active consciousness in yourself. Okay. So this self-knowledge, Atmagyan, turn towards the self. Okay. So every moment the knowledge is coming out of the soul. Now that same knowledge is turning towards the self. Okay. That is, knowledge become directed towards the soul itself. And if that happens, you are able to experience yourself, realize yourself. Okay. And you experience the eternal bliss. Number 8, as knowledge increases, it gives rise to inner bliss. Why? Why it gives rise to inner bliss? Any good answers? As knowledge increases, what this knowledge brings to us?
Your desires automatically reduce.
Very good.
Sir, Bhed Vigyan, like what is
Very
what is
good. Very
we
good. Very good. Very.
You
What
become more
else?
Sayami.
Okay. Good.
Your
So
passions will
as no,
reduce.
pardon?
Your passions will reduce.
Yep. Yeah. That is also true. But the main thing is, as knowledge increases, you find ways and means to practice discriminative knowledge. Okay. And as you practice discriminative knowledge, you connect to yourself. And when you connect to yourself, it always gives rise to inner bliss. Okay. So our whatever knowledge we acquire in terms of scripture reading, these all comes to us. Uh, it always helps us in uh, increasing our inner bliss. Okay. So knowledge is power, as is said everywhere. Knowledge is power. So with this knowledge, you find different techniques and means to practice discriminative knowledge. Okay. The ninth point. Once one earns great esteem and renown in the world. So when you read the scriptures, I told this very categorically in the last class also, you bind special kind of, and those merits, when it comes to fruition, you get all the associations, good associations in the world, and this great esteems and fame and power and wealth, everything you get is through the scriptures. Okay, although we don't long for that, but it's a byproduct. Okay, so when you read into the scriptures, you are binding the highest level of merits, special kind of merits, which merits, when it comes into fruition, it brings all the associations which are conducive to your spiritual upliftment. Okay, last week also I gave an example that Dhirubhai Ambani is having so much of wealth, but he is not having access to this. Dev Shastra Guru is not having access to the scriptures. He is not having access to this kind of knowledge, right? So although he has got great merits coming up, but those merits, the quality is there such that he will only increase wealth. But this is something more precious than the wealth, because wealth is going to remain with you in this birth. The moment you leave this world, all the wealth remains here. It doesn't carry forward. But the kind of knowledge that we are acquiring, we are going to carry it forward. Okay. And in the next birth, we'll complete our journey and get liberated. Okay. So one earns great esteem and renown in the world. It's not very, what you can say, unlikely. Of course, when you read scriptures, your merit is of very high level, and automatically the worldly comforts comes automatically as a byproduct. You don't ask for it. Okay. An abundance, last point, an abundance of meritorious karma. This is what I was talking about. Satisai punya is bound. Now, this meritorious karma, when it comes to fruition, it creates it brings in associations that are conducive to spiritual upliftment. Okay, you will get those instrumental cause where, like, you will get a samosaran, you will be in the samosaran, you will be directly listening to the Tirthankar. All this because of this Satishay punya. This is a special kind of punya. When it comes into fruition, it always leads to internal purity. In Hindi, it is called Garbid Shuddhata Wala Shubh Bhav. Although it is an auspicious sentiment, but inherent to it, there is purity. So this kind of auspicious sentiments, when it comes to fruition, after its fruition, it always manifests into internal purity. So this is a special kind of things. So you see, the study of literature, the study of scriptures immediately brings in these 10 benefits. See, it's written the last line. These virtues manifest instantly through Shastra Abhyas, scriptural study. Hence, one must certainly engage in it. Okay. Now, the last question. Okay. And we are having 10 minutes with us. So, okay. We will finish the reading and I will try to explain it also. Okay. So, Priyanka, you read.
Question number 28.
Yes.
O Bhavya, noble souled being, why is the occasion or opportunity for Shastra Bhyas or scriptural study considered extremely rare? Answer. Beings from the one sensed, etc., ekendriya, up to the Sanjini do not have mind.
Non-sentient ones, yeah, the one with not mind.
Okay, with no mind, do not have mind at all.
Yeah.
Asangi. The infernal beings are tormented by suffering. The subhuman beings, Tiryansh, are devoid of discernment, and the celestial beings are engrossed in sensual pleasures. Therefore, the study of the scriptures, Shastra Abhyas, takes place only among humans, Manushya, only when many favorable conditions come together. The attainment of this human existence, Manushya Paryay, itself is exceedingly rare. When viewed from perspective of substance, space, time, and inner disposition, Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, and Bhav. From the standpoint of Dravya, that is substance, human beings are extremely few in number. They are merely a minuscule, countable fraction. In contrast, Nigodhya beings are infinite, and other life forms exist in uncountable numbers. From the standpoint of Kshetra, that is space, the region inhabited by humans is very limited, confined only to 2.5 continents, Adhyapi Dweep, Adhai Dweep.
Daidip.
Okay. On the other hand, the habitat of one sensed, that is Ekindriya beings, spans the entire universe, Lok, and other beings occupy regions extended across countless Rajus, that is vast cosmological units of distance. From the viewpoint of Kal, that is time, the duration for which one remains in an excellent state within the human birth is extremely limited. In the Karma Bhumi, the period of spiritual distinction lasts a few Kotipurvs. In contrast, for other life forms, among one-sensed Ekindriya beings, the duration of peak existence spans uncountable Pudgal Parvartans, that is, cycles of matter transformation. Among others, it lasts for countable Palya Matras, that is, extremely long cosmological time spans. From the viewpoint of inner disposition, that is bhav apeksh, the state of mind that serves as a casual condition for attaining the human existence, that is manushya paryay, being free from both intense auspicious and inauspicious feelings is extremely rare. In contrast, the modifications with inauspicious and auspicious dispositions are easy to attain. In this way, one should realize that the only condition where it is possible to engage in spiritual scriptural studies is the paryapta human existence in karma bhumi, which is extremely rare or durlabh. Further, obtaining favorable circumstances such as a proper dwelling, noble family background, full lifespan, capable senses, good health, virtuous company, intent directed toward dharma, and intellectual strength, all these become progressively even more rare. This is visibly evident, and without such supporting factors, the study of scriptures cannot take place. Since you are fortunate to have attained this opportunity, therefore, even forcefully, we urge you towards this study for the sake of your own true welfare. Engage in the study of this Shastra in whatever way is possible for you. Likewise, encourage others to study it in whatever manner suits their capacity. Rejoice in the efforts of those who are undertaking Shastrabhyas. Support the external causes that aid scriptural study, such as commissioning the writing of books, ensuring the steadiness of those who read or teach, and similar efforts. For even through these indirect supports, the goal is gradually fulfilled, and immense merit, Mahapunya, is generated. In this way, beings have been inspired to take a genuine interest in the study and practice of this Shastra.
So this Shastra means Karnanyog Shastra. Okay. So all these 28 questions are part of the preface of scripture Samyak Gyan Chandrika, which is a commentary on 5 scriptures put together. Gomatsar, Jivka, Gomatsar, Karmkand, Shapnasar, Labdisar, Triloksar. Okay. So this is where this first chapter ends. 28 questions, and you last question you saw that getting this human life, and again getting this human life, and getting this Jain religion, and in that Jain religion also the true God, true scriptures, true shastras, and then also developing an interest in that. And if you also have a if you have a developed interest in that, and if the scriptures are not available, or even if the scriptures are available but you are not able to understand, then also it would be a waste. So here we have got all the associations that are required to manifest the right belief, okay, and start the path of liberation for ourselves, okay. So this is the one of the rarest opportunities that we have come across in the ocean of transmigration that we have been wandering since time immemorial, no beginning, okay. So you just imagine that for countless birth we have been just transmigrating. Now in this particular life you have got access to everything. You have got the conducive atmosphere to manifest right belief, and you have got the means also, and you have developed a interest also. So all these are very rarest of rare things. So this is the advantage that we all carry. Now this is only happening because we have a rise of special kind of merits karma, okay. Special kind of punya karma is coming into fruition. That's why we are getting all these association, okay. Now what would be our role? What would we should do in the such situation? So we should make the most of this opportunity, okay, because these associations are not going to be permanent. If you are misusing your resources, then your merits will decrease. And if you are utilizing your whatever you have got, infrastructure and the resources, if you are utilizing it in a right manner, then your auspicious karmas also increase, okay, and you get all the good things in life, and ultimately our objective is liberation, okay. So we want such associations in our life which are conducive to our path of liberation, and that is only possible when you have bound such kind of auspicious karmas, okay. So the last two paragraphs again I am repeating. Since you have take it to the last two paragraphs. Yes. So one more paragraph here. Come back. Yes, yes. Yes, this one, yeah. Further obtaining favorable circumstances such as a proper dwelling, noble family, background, full lifespan, capable senses, good health, virtuous company, intent directed towards dharma, and intellectual strength. All these become progressively even more rare. This is visibly evident, and without such supporting factor, the study of scriptures cannot take place. Since you are fortunate to have attained this opportunity, therefore, even forcefully, we urge you towards this study for the sake of your own true welfare. Next. Engage in the study of this Shastra in whatever way is possible for you. So, supposing you developed a habit of consistency, okay? Supposing you are getting only 15 minutes, no problem. You study 15 minutes every day, and you will see that you will get more time to study. gradually. Okay. Likewise, encourage others to study it in whatever manner suits their capacity. Rejoice in the efforts of those who are undertaking Shastra Abhyas. Support the external causes that aid scriptural study. Okay. So if you are very wealthy, then invest your wealth in spreading this religion. Okay. Support the external causes that aid scriptural study, because anyways you are not going to carry that wealth in your next birth. Okay. So if you are spending with your own hand in such causes, then automatically it becomes a cause for increasing your internal purity. Okay. And that is what matters in the path of liberation. Support the external causes that aid scriptural study, such as commissioning the writing of books. Okay. Ensuring the steadiness of those who read or teach, and similar efforts. For even through these indirect supports, the goal is gradually fulfilled and immense merit, Mahapunya, is generated. In this way, beings have been inspired to take a genuine interest in the study and practice of this Shastra of Karnanuyog. Okay. So this is where we end today. Our time is also over. And tomorrow we will begin with chapter 2. That will be more on the karma theories, technical questions, all those technical questions. And hopefully you will be able to understand. I will try my level best. Terminology is a challenge, but nevertheless we will try to make it as simple as possible. Okay. निज निधि निज में बता, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिनवाणी को वंदना सत बार, उसके लिए जिनवाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है. 9 times नमोकार मंत्र.